At the beginning of the movie, a man is shown injecting a green liquid into an egg, which turns the yolk from one into two yolks. The scene cuts and we are shown that some people are making a star of Elisabeth Sparkle. Actually, Elisabeth is a very beautiful model and host of a show. For some time people used to come to this star and take selfies, but then slowly people's attention got distracted from the star, and this star broke and no one fixed it, which clearly showed that people are losing interest in Elisabeth Sparkle. The scene cuts to Elisabeth Sparkle, whose 50th birthday is today. Now she is old but she still hosts this show. After shooting her show, when Elisabeth goes to the washroom, she finds out that the ladies' washroom is closed for some reason, so she goes to the male washroom, where the director of the show also came. He is talking to someone on the phone that Elisabeth is not as young as before, where before they were getting very high ratings. Now their TRPs are going down due to her age, and now I have to replace Elisabeth. I need a new young and beautiful girl for my show. Hearing this, Elisabeth broke down badly inside. The pride she used to have about her beauty is gone today. She carefully looked at herself in the mirror where many wrinkles appeared on her face. She was sad about her fading beauty, but now she is also sad that she is being kicked out of the show. Elisabeth cannot leave everything like that. She already goes to meet the director where the director says, "Look, I can't help you because my show is run by people, and I want to give people what they want, which is beauty, and it's not in you anymore." The director's words had broken Elisabeth badly. She left the hotel but the director's words were echoing in her ears while driving. And in all this she gets distracted from driving and an oncoming car crashes her car badly, and surprisingly it turns out that Elisabeth didn't even get a scratch in such a bad accident. It was her good fortune. Well, Elisabeth was discharged from the hospital by the doctor but now she started crying, because she saw her pictures coming down from the billboard on the way. Then we see a nurse here checking her spine and then gives her clothes. Now as Elisabeth leaves the hospital, she realizes that the nurse has left a message in her coat. In the message it was written that it changed my life and there was also a drive with it, on which it was written the substance. Elisabeth comes home and runs the drive which contains the information about a fluid called the substance. This substance is a magical fluid and this fluid can give any old man a new and youthful version of himself. Along with this substance fluid, there was another fluid that would hold the two bodies together, the old body and the new body. This task was not so easy but not too difficult. A person using this substance must activate both versions after 7 days. And in order to stabilize the new version, meaning the young body, every day the body has to be injected with a special substance that will come out from the spine of the old body. When one version means one body will be activated, at that time the other body will remain unconscious. At first, Elisabeth thought it is all a lie and threw the flash drive into the dustbin, but on the night that she had a breakdown, she was disturbed by a picture of her youth at home, and then she got mad and messaged on this number that I have to order that substance. Whoever was talking on the other hand didn't say much, just asked Elisabeth for her dress and then hung up, giving her a fast address. The next morning, Elisabeth is shown reading a newspaper where she sees an ad placed by her director. The ad was running to interview a new model to replace Elisabeth. Seeing that, she became even more sad. Along with the same newspaper, she also picked up an envelope which was of black color. When Elisabeth opens the envelope, there is a number written in it. Now Elisabeth arrives at the secret address mentioned in the call of that person, which was a secret place inside. There she saw a locker room. Using the number card given to her, Elisabeth accessed the place and then opened her locker, where there was a box with which she came home. After coming home, she immediately opened the box and found a lot of things in it. First a serum and an injection that was meant to be used only once, along with a stabilizer through which the new, young body was supposed to be stabilized. And it is already known from this flash drive that the fluid of this stabilizer will come out of the spine of the old body. A special kit was also given to change both the bodies. Special food was also given for both bodies, meaning young and old body. Elisabeth then goes to the washroom and stares at her body for a long time, as if she can't decide whether she should do it or not. After thinking for a while, she injects the green fluid substance into herself. For a while after the injection, Elisabeth was fine, but after a while she was in so much pain that her eyes started to tear, her eyeballs became double in her eyes, and then the next second her back burst open from which a new and young girl came out. This was a new version of Elisabeth, a new young body that grew out of her old body. This new version of Elisabeth looked at herself in the mirror and for a long time she couldn't believe that what she had used had worked. She became more beautiful and young than she had ever imagined. After staring at her beauty for a long time, she now stitches the back of the old version of Elisabeth, the old body that she ripped out. She then attaches a food bag given to her by the company to keep her old body alive. She enjoyed her beauty all night tonight, and when she woke up in the morning her nose was bleeding. Seeing that, she got worried and remembered that she was also given an activated kit, and she was told that every day to keep the new young body active, she has to extract the substance from the spine of old body and inject it into herself. So now she immediately starts extracting the substance from the spine of her old body, and after injecting this substance into her new body she becomes completely normal. The beauty of this new version was much more than her old body. So she gets ready and goes to audition for the same show from which she was kicked out. Seeing Elisabeth's beauty, everyone was stunned and the director immediately selected Elisabeth. Elisabeth tells here that her name is Sue. After being selected for the show, Sue remembers that she also has to change her body every week, to which she makes an excuse that her mom is sick and she have to go to her village every week to take care of her mom. Director also accepts this condition of taking vacations in a week without any thought. Sue finally got the job and she was enjoying it a lot, flaunting the beauty of her new body. She quickly built a huge following and soon her billboards were running all over the city, and now 6 days had passed since Elisabeth came into this new body and today was her 7th day. It was day to shift bodies, that is, now for a whole week Elisabeth's old body will be active. After the body shift, Elisabeth attaches food to her new body and then goes to her office, where the director kicks her out of the office by giving her a gift in exchange for money and saying a lot of bad things about her, which made her feel very bad when she came home. Well, now the next day comes, Elisabeth while reading the newspaper finds an envelope from the company from where she got the substance. Inside this envelope was a message that her new refill kit has arrived, and Elisabeth now puts on her coat and takes that kit. Now 7 days pass and Elisabeth transforms into Sue, meaning she activates her new body. Now this new body has to enjoy all the pleasures of the world. In such a situation, sometimes she was at home and sometimes she was not. Her truth might be revealed, so she decided to break down a wall in her house and hide Elisabeth's old body there. Sue's vandalism was making so much noise that even her neighbors started to worry, and when a neighbor came and started to complain, he could not even complain after seeing her beauty. On the contrary, he said, "If you need any help, call me, I live nearby." But Sue was doing her secret work and didn't need anyone's help. That's why she closed the door on his face in a very sarcastic manner, and then she went inside and after spending many hours she completed her task, that is, she made a secret room inside her house, inside which she hides Elisabeth's old body. Now, because Elisabeth was replaced by Sue and Sue was going to be famous, that's why she hides all of Elisabeth's youth photos with her. Elisabeth was enjoying her new body so much that she completely forgot that today is shifting day. Her old Elisabeth body was running out of food and today she had to shift her body. Sue brings one of her friends home. While she is busy with her work, suddenly she started bleeding from her nose, and a weird sensation started in her body. Now she realized that it is time to shift her body. Instead of body shifting, she gets greedy and decided to stay in her new body for a little longer, and extracted the substance from Elisabeth's old body and injected it into her body, from which she recovered immediately. But what will happen to Elisabeth's body we will see later. Sue spent 7 more days like that and then she shifted her body. When she got to Elisabeth's body, she saw that one of her finger has rotted away, and it was completely due to her carelessness because she did not switch her body in time. Elisabeth now calls the company in tension and asks them that I missed one of my cycles. I didn't switch my body in time, due to which one of my fingers is damaged, so is there any solution to fix it? Then the company replied that there is no solution. What is done, and hearing this she was very much afraid. The company told her that you are not two, you are one. Your new body is also from the same body, so you have to be careful. Now she goes to get her new refill kit. After getting her new refill kit she went to a restaurant, where she saw an old man who started talking to her strangely. Elisabeth noticed that his hand has the same mark she had seen on the nurse's hand at the hospital. That is, this is the older version of that nurse. This old man asks her that if your new body has started eating you. Hearing this, she got scared and ran away to home. Elisabeth now comes home. She wants to be happy in her old body, that's why she called one of her friends to meet her. She dressed up so well, she wore beautiful clothes and did makeup just like Sue, her new version. She was ready to go out. Then she saw Sue's posters hanging outside and all her confidence was lost as soon as she saw them. And she messed up her makeup, her hair, everything. She was going crazy. Due to her depression, she eats a lot and then sleeps. The scene cuts and we see that Elisabeth has switched her body into Sue, and it was time for her show. So Elisabeth was now dancing. She was shooting for her show. Then suddenly there is a hump came on her lower body. Seeing this, she gets confused and leaves the shooting and goes to the washroom. As she scrolled this hump out of her belly button, she discovered it is a piece of chicken that Elisabeth had eaten last night. Seeing this, she got very scared and her eyes opened. It turned out that all this was a dream of Sue. Now in the morning she actually switched her body and went for her show. But on reaching there, she was horrified to see that the people of the show are packing the shooting equipment, and they told her that the show will not be shot from now on. Panicked, she went to the director, so the director turned her worry into happiness, saying that now she will not do this normal show, rather she will host New Year's Eve. Hearing this, she was very happy and she said yes without thinking. However, New Year's Eve was the day when she had to switch bodies and go into Elisabeth's body, not caring about her old body. Sue now lives in this new version of herself in this new body for a long time, and in order to keep her new body active, Sue keeps extracting stabilizer from her old body. which was affecting Elisabeth's old body. Now after a few days when Sue switched herself up, she saw that Elisabeth had completely aged due to her excessive serum extraction. So seeing her condition now, Elisabeth started to hate Sue. She starts tearing up all the photos of Sue in her house. She even covers the window of her house where she can see Sue's billboards. Elisabeth is so worried that she calls the company and asks them if there is a solution to all this. Can I get back the same body from which I took out the new version, Sue? The person of that company said that you were told earlier that what has happened and now nothing can be changed, but it is in your hand. If you want to stop everything, then you can stop here. And now you can live your whole life with the condition your old version body is in. But this was not approved by Elisabeth. Now Elisabeth got a call for show and she immediately switched her body again. As soon as she switched body, she extracted 3 months of substance from Elisabeth's old body and injected it into her body. For 3 months, Sue had a lot of fun at the parties, and then just the night before New Year's Eve she runs out of that fluid. She also brought a boy to her home and then she realized that her body organs are starting to burst. As soon as she feels this, she immediately goes to extract the serum from Elisabeth's old body, but today the serum did not come out. Seeing this, she was very alarmed and called the company. She asked them that the serum is not coming out from Elisabeth's body. What should I do now? The man of the company says that if the serum is not coming out of her old body, it means that you have used all the serum, and now you have to wait for the new serum to be formed. Until then, you have to switch your body. Sue's condition worsens with this call and she switches her body without thinking about anything. And the boy was also hearing all these switching sounds in the room. He also noticed something strange and went to the washroom to investigate. But before the boy could see Elisabeth's horrible face, Elisabeth immediately locked the bathroom. Then we see that she became very old and bald as well. Even she couldn't walk easily. Elisabeth was now very nervous. She calls the company and says, I want to stop everything right here. The company also agrees and tells her to take the termination fluid. Elisabeth's body was looking very horrible. She tried to hide it in clothes as much as she could, and then reaches to get her termination substance. After bringing the termination substance, she was about to apply it to Sue's body. Then she remembered what the company manager had said, that if you inject the termination substance once, then the body in which you are at this time will always remain the same. Thinking this, she did not inject the serum. She sees her body in the mirror and starts to get angry at Sue again because it all happened because of Sue. So angrily she starts injecting serum in Sue, but as she injected half of the serum, then she realized that she had to host a big show, and in the coming days she is also going to get an award. She also had to receive that award as well. She had to listen to her praises like people used to say about her. In this temptation, she did not eject half of the serum left to Sue, and then she began to wake up Sue. After trying to wake her up for a long time, when Sue doesn't wake up, so she decides to switch the body. But when she can't switch the body, Elisabeth took out the activator from her spine and put it on Sue, and Sue was activated. That is, both versions of Elisabeth were activated at the same time. Upon activation, Sue was furious when she saw that Elisabeth was about to terminate her. In their rage, she beat Elisabeth so hard that her head was tear off and she died. After killing Elisabeth, she realized that she had done something very wrong. Now she wasn't even going to get the activator substance. Well, now she cleans everything from here and leaves for her New Year program. As soon as she went, the crowd welcomed her very enthusiastically. It all looked great to her, but then suddenly she felt something weird in her body. Her nose began to bleed and she panicked and rushed to the washroom. As soon as she opened her mouth, 2 of her teeth broke and fell out. As she touched her other 2 teeth, they also fell out. And then she realizes that her body has become hollow due to the death of the real Elisabeth. Now if she had to survive at all, she had to apply the activation serum, for which she runs towards her home. But when she was in the elevator, one of her nails and one of her ears fell off. She was very scared, but then another person also came in the elevator, and she didn't want to show herself nervous as long as he was standing here. She just acted as if nothing has happened, and then quickly she came to her house. Now when Sue gets home and applies the activation serum, nothing happens. Then she remembers that she has also kept the substance, which they had to use only once. She injected this substance into herself without thinking about anything, and Sue was in a lot of pain as she did so. As before, her body burst from the spine and a combined version of Sue and Elisabeth came out, which looked like a horrible monster. Sue had become a hybrid. Her mental condition became so bad that she did not realize what she is now. She may go in front of the world or not. She put Sue's picture on her hybrid face and went on her show. As soon as she gets on stage, the photo falls out from her face, and now everyone sees her horrifying hybrid face, which was pretty creepy to watch. Everyone started to fear her and started running away, calling her a monster. Seeing Elisabeth, a man now strikes Elisabeth on her face with a baseball bat, due to which her face cuts and falls around, and blood comes out of her body and spreads all over the studio. Everyone got scared and run away, and Elisabeth's body divided into strange pieces. Crawling there like a worm, she comes out. Where Elisabeth Sparkle's star was formed below, her whole body was gone, and now Elisabeth's face was lying on the star in a strange position, which was smiling while looking at the sky. And with that, the movie ends here. If you like this video, please subscribe this channel.